we back, and we back, and we back, and we back. Good Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. It is also my birthday. Shout out to me. Shout out to the Tauruses out there. Taurus season's here. And I had to drop an episode on you guys because I'm supposed to drop one on Monday, but everything getting ready for this week, the birthday festivities and everything. I'm like, let me drop one on Wednesday just to get caught up on everything and make sure y'all get that show for the week. And in this episode, I'm going to be discussing the 50-30-20 rule, budgeting rule. And we're going to take a deep dive into that, but I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. If it's your first time listening to Tyagi, welcome to the show. Welcome to the platform. Welcome to the future of mental health. But overall, Tyagi is a mental health podcast. We specialize in mental health when we minor in financial literacy. This month during April, we've been discussing and covering different financial literacy topics and what is financial literacy, diving into financial literacy. Some keys, the 5 keys of financial literacy. In this episode, we're going to be discussing budgeting and the 50-30-20 rule, how it became popular, and ways to use it to your benefit. But first, let's kick off the show with some quotes of the day. And my first quote is, look back at how far you've come. It's like in our past, we always look at the failures, but why don't we analyze and enhance on our successes that we did? Whether it's getting that new car, graduating, walking across the stage, winning your first spelling bee, getting accepted into college, starting a family, whatever it is, looking back on your past and really being grateful for how far you've come, because we've all been through trials and tribulations. At the end of the day, it didn't break us. It molded us and made us evolve into a stronger human being. So the past, don't look at the past as failures. Look at the past as lessons. Look at the past at the successes that you made over time, and give yourself credit for your past, because your past shaped who you are today. Every choice that you made then helped you with who you are today. So look back at how far you've come. The next quote is, if you live to please others, everyone will love you except yourself. Have you been doing this lately? Have you been more focused on public opinion versus the opinion of yourself, and really loving yourself for what you're doing? Not falling into the modes of society and how society shapes you and wants you to be, but really living your truth, living your purpose, and living out who you want to become. It's like we do that. We live to please others because of social media. Social media got so big with the likes and shares, retweets, and all that stuff. It's like we look for that outside validation when the real validation comes from within inside. Ask yourself right now, do you love who you're becoming? Are you living for yourself, or are you living for others? And that really lets us know, like, if you're not living for yourself, take into account, why are you living for others? What is others doing for you? It's another quote I came across where it was like, other people's opinions aren't paying your bills. So if you're living for other people's opinions, other people's validation, let it go, because other people, at the end of the day, they don't give a fuck about you. They'll watch everything you do, but they don't give a fuck at the end of the day. They just want to watch and tune into your reality show. So if you live to please others, everyone will love you except yourself. So live for you. I'm going to give y'all a brief break, and then we're going to dive into the 50-30-20 rule. Thank you guys for tuning in to Tyagi. The 50-30-20 rule. I bet you're wondering, what is that? It's a budgeting rule, and if you haven't heard of it, here's a fun fact about the rule. Senator Elizabeth Warren popularized the so-called 50-30-20 rule in her book, All Your Worth, The Ultimate Lifetime Money Plan. I haven't read that book yet, but it is on my list. The basic rule is to divide up after-tax income allocated to spend 50% on needs, 30% on wants, and putting 20% away on savings. She researched and referenced From over 20 years of research, her and her daughter wrote this book to conclude that you don't need a complicated budget to get your finances in check. All you need to do is balance your money across your needs, wants, savings, goals by using the 50-30-20 rule. With a clear picture and overview of your budget for the month, you can confidently avoid overspending and build up your savings over time, all without the painstakingly recording every single transaction. So if you ever downloaded a budgeting app like I have, like I keep talking about Digit and every dollar, and then you abandon it after a few days if you don't. You look into it and you feel overwhelmed. Sometimes we do get overwhelmed when it comes to our finances, and that goes to just breaking it down into smaller numbers. Are you really utilizing these budgeting apps that's out there so we can take those mental stresses off ourselves? Because I know how it is. You see that big number, whether you owing for student loans, owing on credit card debts, or any type of debts that you have, you see that big number, you just get overwhelmed by that you don't want to apply or take one simple step to see, like, okay, you have $10,000 in student loans and debts or whatever it is, and just breaking that down on a monthly basis. Like, what do I need to save monthly or put away monthly so I can get towards that 10,000 or break that $10,000 debt down? And on the next episode, I'll be discussing different debt solutions for any type of debt that you have. There's different solutions that you can use that'll work out for whatever debt that you're dealing with. But using this rule, the 50-30-20 rule, as a budgeting method, and really looking into the apps, the Digit app, every dollar, and utilizing those apps. I know how it is. You abandon them after a few days because you feel like you're overwhelmed. You feel like they're a lot. And it can be scary talking about finances, and especially if you haven't been taught financial literacy throughout your lifetime. You're like, where do I start? Well, the first thing we'll start is calculating up your monthly expenses. And then once you keep a track of your monthly expenses balanced across the main spending areas, you can put your money to work more effectively. And with only 3 major categories to track, you can save yourself the time and stress of digging into the details every time you spend. I bet you're thinking, 50-30-20, why am I only saving 20% on when I want to save more, when I need to save more? And the 50-30-20 rule is a great way to solve that age-old riddle, and it helps you build more structure into your spending habits. It can be easier to reach your financial goals whether you're saving up for a rainy day or working off to pay debt. So let's discuss the 50% part, the needs. Needs are those bills that you absolutely must pay and are things necessary for your survival. These might include your rent or mortgage payments, car payments, groceries, insurance, healthcare, minimum debt payments, and your utilities. These are your must-haves. The needs category does not need items that are extras, such as HBO, Netflix, Starbucks, and dining out. Half of your after-tax income should be all that you need to cover your needs and obligations. If you are spending more than that on your needs, you will either have to cut down on your wants or try to downsize your lifestyle. Perhaps to a smaller home or more modest car. Maybe carpooling or taking public transportations to work is a solution, or cooking at home more often. The budget may differ from one person to another. If you find that your needs adds up to more than 50% of your take-home income, you may be able to make some changes to bring those expenses down. This could be as simple as swapping 2 different energy providers, or finding some new ways to save money while grocery shopping. Couponing is great, especially when it comes to grocery shopping. I would look into Ibotta. Ibotta is a great couponing app that you can use really at any grocery store, and all you have to do is just look up for the certain items that you're looking for, and they'll give you that discounted price for there. So that's a way to save money. But it also means deeper life changes, such as looking for a less living expensive. Some of the needs that you may also include be monthly rent, utilities, transportation, insurances, minimum loan repayments, basic groceries. From there, we jump to the 30%, which is wants. Wants are all things that you spend money on that are not absolutely essential. This may include dinner, going to the movies, buying a new handbag, Tickets to sporting events, vacations, the latest electronics, or the ultra high speed internet. Anything in the wants bucket is optional if you boil it down. You can work out at home instead of going to the gym, cook instead of eating out, watch sports on TV instead of getting tickets to the game. This category also includes those upgrade decisions that you make, such as choosing from a costlier steak instead of a less expensive hamburger, buying that Mercedes, which we all want, but instead of going with the more economical, the more efficient car like a Honda. Hondas are more efficient and cheaper on car parts and maintenance and everything. Mercedes, anything foreign is going to be expensive when it comes to car parts and stuff like that. Also, even choosing which television you're using, either using the antenna or you paying for cable. Nowadays, it's like if you got a Fire Stick, that'd be the best way to save money instead of paying these high cable prices. And basically, wants are all those little extras you spend money on from time to time to make your life more enjoyable and entertaining. We all know about dining out, shopping for the latest clothes, or even those sales that they often have. Holidays coming up, you want to do things for 4th of July. You're like, oh, I'm going to go buy fireworks, I'm going to get drinks and all that stuff. But you got to think, like, does this fit into my monthly budget? And sometimes you'll have to plan ahead for the holidays. We have a few holidays coming up. I know summer's coming up and I know everybody want to be out for the summer and everything, but it's like, start saving towards your summer income, your summer goals, your summer finances, so you don't have to really exert all your energy and your mental strength to figure out how am I going to do this summer, what I want to do this summer, where you have that money set aside. You're like, yo, this is my summer funds, and you're set for the summer. More wants may include your gym membership, those entertainment subscriptions, Netflix, HBO, Amazon Prime, Hulu, all that. And I know how it is. Trust, that's just how we all want it. We all want to have Netflix, HBO Max, Prime, and all that. But it's like, why don't we just cut it down to one? Which one do we really like and which one is really beneficial to us? Even groceries, other unessential groceries and things like that. And if you discover that you are spending too much on your wants, it's worth thinking about which of those you want to cut back on. As a side note, following the 50-30-20 rule doesn't mean not being able to enjoy your life. It simply means being conscious about your money by finding areas in your budget where you are needlessly overspending. If you're confused about whether something is a need or a want, ask yourself, can I live without this? And then there's your answer. And now we jump to the 20% part, savings. Saving, investing. Those are the keys that will save you in the long run. Trying to allocate 20% of your net income to savings and investments. This includes adding money to your emergency fund in a bank account, making IRA contributions to a mutual fund, and investing in the stock market. You should have at least 3 months worth of emergency savings on hand in case you lose your job or any unforeseen event occurs. After that, focus on retirement and meeting other financial goals down the road. Constantly putting aside 20% of your pay each month can help you build a better and more durable savings plan. This is true whether your ultimate goal is building an emergency fund, developing a long-term personal finance plan, or even preparing for a down payment on a house. So putting that 20% aside every month is very beneficial for you if you have long-term financial goals. But did you know Americans are notoriously bad at saving? The nation has extremely high levels of debt. As of the third quarter of 2020, Americans have 14.9 trillion, that's with a T, in total debt, which includes 756 billion in credit card debt. The personal savings rate in January 2022 was 6.4%. 6.4%. And it said we are notoriously bad at saving. And saving is so easy, but it's like we live in the moment. We want that instant gratification instead of delaying that gratification when it comes to certain things in life, like going out every weekend, partying, going to brunches, spending unnecessary money on things that you don't need to spend money on. You don't have to go out every weekend. It's all about looking in the future but living in the present, if that makes sense. And the 50-30-20 rule is intended to help individuals manage their after-tax income, primarily to have funds on hand for emergencies and savings for retirement. Every household should prioritize creating an emergency fund in case of job losses, unexpected medical expenses, or any other unforeseen monetary costs. If an emergency fund is used, then the household should focus on replenishing it. Saving for retirement is also a critical step as individuals are living longer. Calculating how much you will need for retirement and working towards that goal begins at a young age, which will ensure that you have a comfortable retirement. So start now. That's the biggest thing, starting now. We hear the information. I'm letting you guys know the 50-30-20 rule, what it is. On 50% on your needs, 30% on your wants, and 20% on your savings. And starting now. Don't be like, oh, I'll start Monday, I'll start tomorrow. Just start now. Do one thing, 1%, getting 1% better, doing one thing. What's one thing you can do right now to help you when it comes to savings, when it comes to budgeting, when it comes to getting your finances in order? Maybe you'll be like, all right, the one thing I can do right now is take a look at my last month's bank statement and really calculating that up and dividing it and seeing, like, once you get that up, that's the first step today. Then tomorrow you're like, all right, let me look at my bank statement and divvy up what is a need, what is a want, and have I saved or invested, and really calculating and seeing, okay, this is what I did, this is what I saved, this is what I invested, this is what I spent, this is what I put into my needs category. And that'll help you along the way. Life should be enjoyed, and it is not recommended to live like a Spartan, but having a plan and sticking to it will allow you to cover your expenses, save for retirement, while doing the activities that you love and that make you happy. So it's about having that plan, having that financial plan for yourself, and really utilizing that plan and not falling short of that plan. Because at the end of the day, it's all about you and your financial needs, especially if you are covered right now where you're like, all right, I got a 9-to-5, I got a side hustle, I got a business, I'm good right now. Okay, but what about the future? How does your future look? How do you want your future to look when it comes to your finances? So it's about taking that time and making that plan right now so you don't have to think about it 10, 15 years from now and be stressing about it when you're like, versus you're like, I already got a plan. I got my retirement stacked up. I got my IRA stacked up. I got my other savings stacked up. So I'm solid. So it's all about applying pressure now and not losing focus over time and building that compound interest. But I'm gonna give y'all a brief break and then I'm gonna hit y'all with the recap. I appreciate y'all tuning in. I hope this show helps you guys out today. I'll be right back with Sana E. And we back, and we back, and we back, and we back. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning into today's episode of Sana E. If you want to do me one big favor, if you ain't following me on Instagram, follow me at BrotherX, BR0THERX. You can go out and shout me out or wish me a happy birthday. I greatly appreciate that. But on another note, let's hit you with the recap. We start off with the quotes of the day. Look back at how far you've come. Use the past for your lessons and not your failures. Number 2, if you live to please others, everyone will love you except yourself. Public opinion will be your downfall. So love yourself, love who you are, love who you're becoming, and just be yourself. There's only one you. You are one of a kind. You don't have to live to please others. Live to please yourself. Focus on you, me, myself, and I. Be selfish sometimes. And focus on you, getting better, evolving day by day and everything. Living for yourself. That's what it comes down to. Then we discussed the 50-30-20 rule. Shout out to Elizabeth Warren, who popularized the rule, her and her daughter. And check out their book. If you read their book, let me know what you thought about it. But if you haven't read the book, All You're Worth, The Ultimate Lifetime Money Plan, check it out. Let me know what you think. It's on my list. I'm most likely going to be reading it too, but check it out, especially when it comes to the budgeting rule and learning how to properly budget. especially if it's 50% of needs. 50% of your income needs to be devoted to your needs, where your needs include your main bills like monthly rent, utilities, transportation, insurances, minimum loan payments, as well as basic groceries. And then with the other 50%, put that towards 30% of your wants, whatever your wants may be. Maybe you like to going out to eat every now and then. Maybe you like dining out. Maybe you like going to brunch. Maybe you like, going to amusement parks or going out to sporting events, anything of that nature. Won't you plan ahead? Put that 30% away so when that time does come, you can put that money towards buying that ticket to the sporting event, going out to the movies, going out to eat, something of that nature. Even if those sales come, we all know when the sales come around when it comes to our favorite clothing stores. Near the holidays, all the sales cop out. So save up for them times instead of being caught off guard when they do pop up. When you have your savings, your money saved, your clothing fund saved up, you don't have to worry about anything. And even if you subscribe to Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, anything of that nature, focus on just one. Which one do you truly need? Which one will benefit you and help you out, and really cut off the other 3 or 4, whatever ones you have, and just focus on using that one. Then the 20%, saving, investing. Focusing on that, focus on the 20%, focus on creating that emergency fund, building that IRA, looking into the stock market, looking at the crypto and things like that, to where you're putting that 20% away towards your future. That's what it's for. The 20% is for your future. The 30% and the other 50% is for your right now. So it's probably deviating each category and not putting too much stress on yourself. Like I said, Americans are notoriously bad at saving. The nation has extremely high levels of debt. As of the third quarter of 2020, Americans have $14.9 trillion in total debt, which includes $756 billion in credit card debt. The personal savings rate in January 2022 was 6.4%. We have to raise that. Share this episode with somebody who you think could help, who you know is not good financially, who doesn't do good when it comes to the finances. Let's help each other out. If you know somebody that's excellent when it comes to finances, reach out to them and see how are they doing with their money management. How can they help you instead of you trying to tackle this alone? Trust me, I know how it is. I had to reach out for help myself. Even though it's like we have the tools, we still sometimes need somebody to help us and really put things into perspective. So even if the 50-30-20 rule doesn't work for you, figure out what rule works for me and how can I apply that to my budget. Because I know how it is, especially now. Like I said, summer's around the corner, so you're going to be spending money left and right. Gas prices are going up day by day. Inflation is consistently rising. So it's like, have that plan, create that financial plan now, today, instead of looking back like a week from now, 2 weeks from now, a month from now. I'm like, damn, I should listen to Exo when he talked about the 50-30-20 budget rule, or finding a budget that works for my life. That's what it comes down to. We all want to enjoy life, but we don't want to be stressed out when it comes to our finances. So why not plan out your finances, plan out your future, plan out your present, and really take control. You listen to this episode right now, so you listening to the end, and it's like, okay, you got all the information, but why not apply the information to your life? Really checking in on your monthly expenses, seeing what you spent over the last 3 months, really taking account and dividing up to those 3 categories. What are my needs? What are my wants? And what do I need to save? What's going to my savings? And really adjusting as you go. It's not going to be built overnight, but with daily consistent practice and really being on it, working on getting that 1% better every day, a year from now, you'll be in a better place when it comes to your finances. So it's all about looking ahead, but planning for right now. But I appreciate y'all tuning into the show. How do you feel? How do you feel like I did in this episode? Let me know. Leave a review. I greatly appreciate it. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, or even leaving a review on the website. The website will be in the show notes. Also, do you feel like I educated you enough about the 50-30-20 rule? If so, Share this with somebody, a friend, a family member, a coworker, someone you know it'll help. We all need to help each other out when it comes to our mental health, when it comes to our financial literacy. And I felt like this episode gave enough information to where we can all share this with one person. Anybody you can think of, anybody you know that's good at their financial literacy or even bad at their financial literacy, anybody that you know it can help, share this with them. That's how we spread the word, spread the knowledge. That's how we all get educated. It's all about us helping each other out. Also, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I greatly appreciate it. I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode. I'm about to enjoy this day. It's your boy's birthday. Once again, happy birthday to me. And I'm ready, man. I'm ready to enjoy this day. 30. That's crazy. It came fast, but I'm grateful for it. And I'm ready for this new journey I'm about to embark on. But let me leave y'all with this. Your life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change.